Hello and welcome to the Docker course of CodeMaven. My name is Gabor Sabo. The slides, as usual, are here, and we are jumping ahead right directly to the current slide. That's also below the video. You'll find a link to it. So we'll need to, in order to use Docker, you need to install it on your computer, on the local computer. And there are instructions to install Docker for all three of the major operating systems. There's a link to it, so I'm going to click on that and get to the place where you can download and install Docker. So obviously this page will change um, as time goes on. This time you can see that there you can install the Docker desktop for Mac, the Docker desktop for Windows, or Docker for Linux. So the best is to follow the instructions there. Especially I would like to point out a couple of things. So you could install Docker using apt-get and or yum, depending on your operating system of Linux, but probably it's better to use the installation method suggested in the get Docker link, because that way you will get a better version, a newer version of Docker. On Windows, oh, and one more thing, for Linux, there is a link to the post installation for Linux. So let me just show you. This is especially important if you start running Docker, and normally you should be using your Linux machine as regular user and not as root. But Docker needs special rights, so it can access the kernel in a special way. So you need to, it's better not to run Docker just straight as root. So here are some instructions on how to run Docker as a non-root user. So that's I'm recommending that you follow these instructions. That's for Linux. For Windows, there are other things. So depending on the version of Windows, you might be able to install the Docker desktop for Windows, the one that is linked from the Get Docker page. But there might be problems, especially if you have older versions of Windows. You might then, in that case, you need to use the older version. So I think this is the older link. Install Docker desktop for Windows. You have to check out which one is working for you. In a minute or so, we're going to see how you can actually check it out. So let's go actually to the next slide. If you're already here, you can use the command window, the CMD. You open it, and then in there you will type in the command Docker to see that Docker actually runs on your system. That's it basically for now. We'll have a separate recording, especially for Windows, to look at to see how it works. But for now, I hope that it works for you.